Hey guys, today we're in my wife's 2024 Honda CR-V Sport L. This is going to be kind of a first impressions video on what it's been like to live with the past couple weeks, as we bought this to replace my wife's 2022 Volkswagen Taos. Just wanted something a little bit bigger and a bit more reliable than the Volkswagen. So let's go ahead and get started. So this 2024 CR-V Sport L is all-wheel drive. It is a hybrid, like I said before, and it's finished in platinum white pearl. I love this color. It kind of blends in with everything else in the road. This is just like any other SUV, pretty much. It doesn't really stand out too much, and it's just your basic A to B car. But I like how it looks. My wife likes how it looks, and this definitely is going to be a lot more reliable down the road. I really like what Honda did with the new front end here with the CR-Vs and make them look a lot less bubbly and kind of get rid of that like stink bug shape of how it is. Actually, kind of like that CR-V over there. Hello, CR-V owner. So the Sport L is slotted right in between the Touring and the regular Sport. The power liftgate is really quick. I'm really happy what Honda did with this, and it doesn't really get in the way too much, and you can set it your lift height how you want it. Back here there's plenty of room. This doesn't lift up at all because the hybrid battery's under there, and you get some storage spaces on the left and right. Your like flat roadside assistance kit is on the side there, along with a funnel for your gas cap because it's a capless fuel filler system. Put this back on. It's illuminated with a 12-volt outlet and some cargo hooks to put either your groceries or probably the accessory cargo cover on this one. It's not too bad. Go ahead and check out the back seat. These doors do open at 90 degrees, which is really nice. It's really nice to be able to get stuff back here without jamming it in the door, because I think regular doors open like at this angle. It's also would be good for kids if you have kids and putting car seats in there. These back seats here do recline as well. You can pretty much lounge back here, and these are really comfortable perforated leather. They're very breathable. Even the driver's seat and the passenger seat up front is extremely comfortable. I really enjoy this. Go ahead and climb in. Pretty easy ingress and egress here. Back here is a very nice place to be. These seats are really plushy. You do get a pull-down center armrest with a couple cup holders, one mat pocket, and you do get vents with a couple of USB-C ports, one taken up by the dash cam up there. This car does come equipped with a sunroof, and what I like about the sunroof too is you can actually open it. The wind doesn't buff it too much, and it's actually really enjoyable. Up front, you get Honda's updated interior. The Sport L gets heated leather seats up front, and the driver's seat is powered. The passenger seat is not, though. But I really like this updated interior. It's kind of Honda's corporate design. Looks like the Civic and the Accord. I got no problems with it. It works. It'll age well, and yeah, very nice. So under the hood is Honda's 2-liter Atkinson Cycle 4-cylinder, mated to a eCVT. It's not really a transmission. This car is basically like direct drive. The electric motors drive the wheels, and if needed, it will engage a clutch, which will drive the wheels if it needs the motor, if the battery's depleted for whatever reason or doesn't work or anything. But pretty nice system. This thing pretty much drives like an EV. It's very quiet. You hardly even tell the motor is on. So up front here, these seats also are memory too. All your settings and all your configurations in this car are tied to the key fob, which is really nice. So your driving position and all your infotainment settings are all tied to the driver, which is really cool. You do get a nice leather wrapped steering wheel and dual zone climate control, tactile buttons. It does have a nice infotainment system with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. It's also wireless as well. Wireless works really good. It's really quick. It connects fast. The bass speakers in here are actually really nice. We didn't get the Touring, which has the Bose speakers, and that's quite all right. This thing thumps pretty good enough for what we needed to. We're pretty happy. Do get a wireless charger here. This is nice because it holds the phone, doesn't make it move when you're driving, and you can also turn it off, which we have it off because we use wired CarPlay only, and that works just fine. Do get your drive mode selector, hill descent control, electronic parking brake, and brake hold. If you don't know what brake hold is, it's the greatest thing ever, and every car manufacturer should have it. Couple cup holders, place to put some change or whatever, a massive center console, along with a decent sized glove box, which is pretty nice. You do get an auto-dimming mirror and illuminated visor mirrors as well. And a place to put your sunglasses, which is nice to see. The Volkswagen that we had did not have that. All right, so let's go ahead and take this thing for a spin and see what it's all about. First, I do want to show you the fuel economy we've been getting. We got 734 miles on this right now, and we've been averaging 39.5 miles a gallon, which is great. My wife has a highway commute to work, and yes, we've put 734 miles on in 2 weeks since we've had this, and it does really good. We're really happy with it. This tank, we've been getting 39.3, which is awesome. And we're actually about ready to get a 500-mile tank on this thing. So the range on this thing is actually pretty good as well. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take it for a spin. I do like to drive around in B. There's a difference between the regular drive and this B mode. B, I think, stands for braking, I believe. If you were to drive around in regular drive mode, you can use the paddle shifters behind the wheel to control the amount of regen, but every time you get back on the throttle, it resets how much regen it is. So I like to drive around in B because it has a static amount of regen, and you can almost one pedal drive this thing. It's definitely going to save a lot of costs on the brake pads and brake rotors in the future. We opted for the Sport L package because we wanted the smaller wheels, and I think that helps over bumps and definitely helps on tire costs in the future. If you're wondering how this drives, it literally drives like an EV. Like if you've never driven an EV, this is a great way to get buyers to step into the next transition of what the automotive future is going to be. And you barely hear the engine at all. This hybrid system works really well. It's super quiet, it's super smooth, and there's no jerks, no hesitations at all. It just, you put your foot down and you go. My favorite thing about this car is how quiet it is at highway speeds. I mean, we're going 55 right now, but I went 70 on a highway the other day, and we're able to hold a nice conversation in here. And compared to Honda's past with how loud their interiors have been, this CR-V is a huge improvement. I owned a 2019 Accord, and you could barely hear yourself think in that car when you're on a highway. And it's nice to see that Honda finally listened to their customers, and it offers a ton of noise isolation in here. I know the fender wells are lined, there's an extra carpet, padding, sound insulation in here. The windshield is, I think, double paned and stuff. It's just really quiet in here. Now you do get a couple drive modes. You do get ECON, which basically makes the throttle pretty much have like a huge dead zone in it. I don't like it at all. And you do get Sport, which puts a little bit of pep in the step and then pumps some fake sound in that sounds terrible. Best way to drive this is just to keep this in normal mode and just drive it how you normally would. I think this is the best hybrid on the market today. It is definitely the smoothest, it's the most quiet, and it is very comfortable. For what you get in this car, we paid like $39,000 for this, and I say it's 100% worth it in every single way. We actually test drove the RAV4 hybrid and was going to look into purchasing one of those, and then I was like, well, we should probably try the CR-V hybrid. And we fell in love. We drove the RAV4 hybrid. It was a good car, but I think this is a league of its own. It is definitely class leading, and you just got to experience it for yourself. Now, we bought this one at Germain Honda of College Hills. This will be my second vehicle I have bought at Germain Honda. So definitely a painless buying experience. They're great people. No funny business with them, and I would highly recommend purchasing a vehicle through them. They don't do any markups, and they're just overall a great dealer. Oh boy. Hey guys, I'm back here. Can I shoot around you? This drives me up a wall. But this is a good way to segue into the acoustic vehicle alerting system. AVAS, I think is what they call it. This thing has a speaker up front that is extremely loud and alerts pedestrians and bicyclists that you are coming up on them. I think it works really well, and I think it's actually a little bit too loud. I'm not quite sure why those people didn't move out of the way. But I think that's one of the things I don't particularly like about this vehicle is I think the speaker in the front is kind of loud, especially when you put it in reverse. It's really loud on the inside. I'll try to get a video of what it's like on the outside. All right, now put it in reverse. It's so loud. She's like 50 feet away from me. It's pretty loud. You'll turn some heads in some parking lots and stuff. The Honda sensing in this with the adaptive cruise and the lane centering works extremely well. I was able to do that on a highway, and you know, obviously you have to keep your hands on the wheel, but it was pretty much driving itself for about like 15-20 miles. It did a really great job of keeping the stress off the driver of actually driving the car. So right now we're in full regen. You can see I don't have my foot on the brake at all, and we're slowing down a pretty good amount. I'll actually put the power flow grid up here, and it shows you we're kind of charging the battery and slowing down at a pretty decent rate. I just can't get over how quiet this thing is. Honda did an excellent job with noise isolation in here. I went to a 7 Brew, if you guys are familiar with 7 Brew. They're a coffee chain that plays music incredibly loud through these giant JBL speakers that are hanging on their restaurant or their shack or whatever you want to call it. And it is so loud. But when you roll these windows up, you genuinely notice how good the isolation is in this car. It literally pretty much canceled out all of that music, and if you turn on your own music, you couldn't hear it at all. And I'm telling you, it was blaring. You know, I have a 2019 Ram 1500, and you can definitely hear the sound. You can definitely hear the music through those windows. Whatever Honda did in here for noise isolation from the outside, it's incredible. This is definitely one of the quietest cars I've ever been in. So overall, first impressions, 741 miles on this thing are great. I'm very glad we purchased this vehicle, and I think it's going to hold up in the long run. The hybrid system is great. The ride is great. It's super quiet. Definitely stay tuned. I will definitely be updating you guys as it goes, a long-term fuel economy, and any problems that arise, if any. Hopefully none. And yeah, guys, we're pretty happy. I'm excited. It's a great vehicle, and if you're looking into a crossover, I would definitely swing for one of these for sure. Oh yeah, and it has an easy exit function to where you turn the vehicle off and open the door. The seat slides back a little bit for easier ingress and egress. It's just awesome. But yeah, guys, I mean, styling, you know, is just like any other crossover. Kind of looks like a Volvo at some angles. Looks good, you know, it just kind of blends in with everything else. But we're happy. Wife's happy. Everybody's happy when the wife's happy. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.